All right, now look, today I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to prepare my Jamaican style curry chicken. So let's get into the ingredients, shall we, child? What you're going to need is green onion, some thyme, carrots, about enough fresh garlic to chop down to end up being about 2 tablespoons worth, a habanero pepper, you can use Scotch bonnet if you would like, 2 limes, I like to add potatoes to mine. For the chicken, I have a combination of legs, thighs, and legs. I have about a cup and a half of some chopped onion here, a green bell pepper, red bell pepper. I love this Jamaican style hot curry powder. It's one of my favorites. I will be adding MSG to mine. You can not do it if you don't want to, but I do feel like it just adds a lot of flavor. And for the additional seasonings, we're going to be adding in garlic powder as well as onion powder. Now, you see that? You see that? You see that? Don't ask me for the damn ingredient list. Come on, child. All right, now before we get too far into this, I need to prepare this chicken. So I actually like to remove the skin off of the legs and the thighs. I don't really bother with taking the skins off of the wings themselves. That's just not necessary. But I don't like to keep the skin on my chicken when I'm making curry chicken because it's just not going to get crispy enough and I ain't got time for that. So I'm going to go on ahead and remove the skin off of all of these legs as well as the thighs. Then I'm going to take it over to the sink and I'm going to rinse it down in a solution that has the juice of 2 limes and some white distilled vinegar. I'll be back once my chicken is all prepped. Alrighty, so now that I've gone in and removed the skin off of the legs and the thighs, I'm going to go on ahead and separate my wings down into drumettes because I don't like to leave them whole. So you just pretty much go in, you find the crease, and then you just separate them. I'm also going to take the wing tips off as well and discard those because I don't need to keep those. And now I have a flat and a drum that I can throw back into the bowl. So I'm going to repeat this process for all of the wings, and then we can go over to the sink and then go on ahead and get these properly cleaned up. Now, if you want, you can take the skin off of the wings, but for the wings, I don't really find it necessary. It's fine, but again, I like to take it off for the thighs and the legs. If you wanted to use chicken breast, you absolutely could. Like if you wanted to just go on ahead and break down a whole chicken, you absolutely could. I don't like to use breast and stuff like this because I just find it, I don't know, I just feel like it gets dry. So I like to stick with the chicken thighs, but you can use what you want. Alrighty, now that I have my chicken over to my sink, I've filled it up with cold water. I'm going to go in with a nice splash of white distilled vinegar. I'm also going to now add in the juice of both of the limes and then add those limes directly to the bowl. And then I'm just going to give this chicken a scrub down. I actually might also put in some kosher salt as well. Just a nice handful, just so that I can have a little bit of an abrasive and then scrub all of this chicken down, rinse it off under cold water, and then your chicken is nice and cleaned. And hey, listen here. If you are one of those people that chooses to not want to wash your chicken, that's on you. Hell, they also say that you should brush your teeth every day and wash your ass every day. But some of y'all manage to make up excuses to not do that. So, hey, you live your life the way you want to, Chad. Now, go on ahead and rinse this off under cold water. I'm not eating all that nasty mess. To my clean chicken, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of onion powder, a half a tablespoon of garlic powder, 1.5 tablespoons of the curry powder. Go on ahead and add in that half. And don't worry, there'll be more curry powder added in later on. And a teaspoon of the MSG. Some black pepper, and a pinch of coarse kosher salt. A drizzle of neutral oil, I'm using avocado oil. And I'm adding in roughly about this much thyme. Now go on ahead and give all of that a good massaging. You can either wrap it up in cling film or just simply place a lid on it, place this in the fridge, and allow this to marinate minimum 4 hours, maximum 12. Now, in regards to the carrots and the peppers, and the potatoes, actually, those are going to be added in about the last 30 minutes of the cooking time because you want those to retain, a little bit of texture to them. You don't want them to get too soft. So I'm just going to go on ahead and prep them now and then sit them to the side. And I'm cutting my carrots into relatively large chunks. You can cut them down as big or as small as you would like. Now, not all the time do I add carrots and potatoes to mine, but if I want it to be just like a one-pot meal in a sense and not have to have like a bunch of like side dishes to go with it, I add carrots and potatoes to it because then I can just kind of eat this by itself and call it a day. Now, I might still go on ahead and make some rice with this, but this kind of helps make it a little bit more of a meal. How many of you guys love curry, and have you ever made it before? I did not grow up eating curry. I didn't even really know much about Jamaican food. Where I'm from, it's just not something that is local. We don't really have Jamaican, well, it's not that we don't have Jamaican restaurants around here. I feel like now things are changing in the area where I live, so now we're starting to get more ethnic restaurants, which is exciting because hopefully that encourages people to go out and start trying new foods. But I have grown to love curry, and honestly, once you realize how extremely easy it is to make it at home yourself, you really don't have to go out and buy it. One of the crucial steps in making a good curry is you've got to make sure that you are burning the curry powder in the pan a few minutes before you add the chicken. Now, when I say burn, I don't mean literally burn. You're essentially adding it to the hot oil, and it's gonna wake up all of those flavors. That is a crucial step in making good curry, and I'll remind you guys of that once we get to it. But for right now, I just wanted to go on ahead and prep all of the veggies. So now I have my carrots, my red bell pepper, my green bell pepper, all of that. We can now go on ahead, sit that to the side because that is good to go. My onions, I don't have to worry about those because those are already diced. My habanero pepper, I will be leaving whole, so you don't have to worry about that. And now we can go on ahead and mince down the garlic. Now, in regards to the green onion, I'm going to separate the whites from the green because we're going to be cooking those separately. So go on ahead and separate the whites. You can add in as much or as little as you would like. I'm going to be using the entire, well, not the entire bottle of the green, but I will be using all of the whites. And I'm now going to go on it and just mince down the whites from the green onion. And now that I have the whites from the green onions done, I'm just going to go on ahead and add that to the container that has the white onions in them, because those are going to get all cooked down together. So we can just add that all in the same bowl, and now we can sit those to the side. Now, as far as the green onion part itself, the green, I'm only going to use 2 bundles, and I'm going to chop this down nice and fine as well. And just so that you can see, I chopped the green onion down really, really fine. I don't want any big chunks, so now I can sit that to the side. All of my veggies are done, so I will be back in a couple hours when it's time to start cooking the chicken. All right, so to my pan, I'm going to be adding in 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. And remember, I told you the key to making good curry is you've got to make sure that you fry off the curry powder. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons to the oil while the oil is starting to heat up, and allow that to cook off. And to the curry powder, I'm also going to be adding in 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon powder. This process can take anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure the heat isn't up too high and continue to mix around. Now that it's this dark brown color, we're going to go on ahead and add in our onion and the whites from the green onion. And allow that to cook for about a minute or so. We can now go on ahead and add in the garlic and the green onion. Give that a mix around. Now that I've got my veggies sauteed off, I'm going to remove the veggies out of the pan and sit them to the side for just a few moments while we begin to brown off the chicken. Browning off the chicken is crucial because that's going to lock in a lot of the flavor. You can now add in an additional 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. And now we're going to begin to fry off our chicken. Do not overcrowd the pan because we want to make sure that we're getting some nice searing on it. So allow this to take however long it's going to be. You're not trying to fully cook the chicken at this moment. You're just simply trying to brown it off and get some coloring on the pieces. This has been cooking on one side for roughly about a minute or so, and this is what you want to see. You want to see a little bit of color on each side of the chicken. All right, now that my chicken has some nice coloring to it, I'm gonna go on ahead and remove this out and just repeat this process for all of the chicken. In the bowl that the chicken was marinating in, I'm going to add in 1 cup of water just so that I can get all of the juices and all that flavoring out of this. You're not gonna need to add too much water to the actual pot itself because the chicken is going to release a lot of liquid on its own, so you only need 1 cup of water. Alrighty, so I am just about finished browning up the last bit of chicken, so now we can go on ahead and add all of the chicken directly back to the pot. I have slightly reduced the temperature down, and I'm now going to add in all of the liquid as well as all of those thyme leaves. Also going to add back in all of those peppers. Well, not the peppers, but the onions and the garlic and all that goodness. Give this a good mix around. And I know that it might seem like there's not enough water in there, but trust me, this chicken is going to release a lot of liquid over the next 30 minutes. So don't put too much water in it or it's going to end up being watered down, and you don't want that. You're going to lose a lot of flavor if you add in too much liquid to begin with. So now go on ahead and just put the top on this and set a timer for 30 minutes. Now you guys can see what I mean by you don't need to add in a lot of water. It's going to release a lot of water on its own, which this is looking and smelling absolutely incredible. I just wanted to give it a little mix just to get all that good stuff off the bottom of the pan, which it's releasing. This is, ooh boy, this is going to be some good eating. Yeah, boy. Go ahead and put the top back on it and let it continue to go. All right, so it's been 30 minutes, so now we're going to add in the potatoes that have been washed, of course. And we're now going to add in the green bell pepper, the red bell pepper, and the carrots. And now mix everything together. Again, I'm not adding in any extra liquid. Remember, those veggies are going to let off additional water. I'm now going to go on ahead and add in that habanero, place the top on this, and set the timer for another 30 minutes. All right, y'all, so we have about 15 minutes left on that 30-minute timer. So what I want to go in and do is give this a little mix around. But before we do that, I want to take this habanero out because I don't want to risk busting that open. And as you guys can see, like I told you, look at how much liquid's in there. Told you didn't need to add any water. Just give it a good mix around because I just want to make sure that everything is fully incorporated and making sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom. My actual God. Baby, if y'all could smell the inside of this house right now. Jesus. That's looking good. Now I can put this habanero directly into that liquid, place the top back on this, and allow it to go for the rest of the timer. All right, y'all, so there is only maybe about 5 minutes left on the timer. I went in, did my little taste test. I've added in just a little bit of kosher salt to it, and I've added in 2 additional tablespoons of the curry powder. I always like to add in 2 additional tablespoons in the last few minutes, and then just give it a mix. But now at this point, do not add the top back on because now the sauce is going to reduce down and kind of thicken up just a little bit. But this is good to go. You can also go on ahead and extract the thyme leaves, the stems, out of the pot. All right, y'all, so that is how I make my Caribbean-style curry chicken. I just topped it off over a bed of jasmine rice. I've added the pepper to the plate. Of course, I'm not going to be eating that, but, you know, add a little bit of green onion on the top and enjoy. I think it's high time that we go in for a taste test. It's beautiful out here, child. It's about to rain, so I was like, let me come outside and do my little taste test for them. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Ooh, the chicken is just tender. Here you go. Here we go. The chicken essentially just melts in your mouth. This little curry wing, watch it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.